G'day, how you doing? It's the 22nd of March, time is 4 PM in the afternoon, and currently I'm sitting in one of the huts the boys made on one of my boot camps, which we will be resuming again as soon as this shitstorm blows over. We can carry back to life as it was, although, to be honest with you, I don't think life's going to be quite as it was. There's going to be some big changes coming up for all of us, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes change is a good thing, as I have discovered in my own life, but sometimes it takes a crisis to bring on change. I used to have a terrible diet, a lot of terrible habits. I've still got some bad habits, but I've changed a lot of them since a year and a half ago when I got very, very sick, and sometimes that's what it takes in our life. So maybe this crisis brings something in your life that while now looks terrible, can later on become something good from it. Every dark cloud has a silver lining, and I'm sure you'll find your own silver lining in all of this. Meantime, here in New Zealand, to date, we've got 66 cases of COVID-19, 4 still under investigation that came up as negative, but possibly positive. We are now alert to level 2 as of yesterday. What does that mean exactly? Okay, there's 3 stages to level 2 alert. One is people over 70 or people with bad conditions like cancer or something that's really detrimental to their health are being asked to stay isolated, self-isolated indoors and not go into public places. The second part of that is in the work sector. No person-to-person contact or minimal person-to-person contact, and also taking work from the workplace and doing it at home if possible. And the third stage of that level 2 alert is all domestic travel being reduced to just the real very, very important stuff. That's what I understand. If I'm wrong, please correct me and let me know. Right, I'm doing these little vlogs for a couple of reasons, 2 main reasons. One is that many people are in isolation now and they're wanting to know what's going on, and traditionally I'll do my videos on Patreon regularly for my patrons, but I don't do them public. I'm bringing everything public now except a couple of hunting or fishing ones a month, so you're getting the guts. And I'm also going to release some extra Patreon ones to you guys because of the situation, but firstly I'm going to ask my patrons about that. The second reason I'm doing these videos is it's a great community way for information sharing. So I'm in New Zealand, you might be in Ireland or Scotland or Jersey or California, Canada, New Orleans, one small little city in the middle of nowhere, Timbuktu, and you can write comments below and share with the rest of us what your anxieties are, what your solutions might be to problems, what it is that's helped you get through this hard time, or you just might want to make a comment and say, Clay, you're crap. I don't mind, but it's just a way for you guys to get things out and have a public platform, which you can go on anywhere, but this one here is probably a little bit different in as much as that it started off being a hunting and fishing and outdoor channel, and more I think you're now going to start becoming involved more in that yourselves if you're in the country and you've got the possibility to, just to survive, because you obviously want to avoid the crowded places, and particularly the supermarkets right now, because they're all going a little bit crazy. Here is something you can do if you are healthy and you are strong and you've got a vehicle. You can find out in your community the people that are over 70 or the ones that can't travel or aren't well, and just find out where they are. Give them a quick call and say, hey mate, would you like me to do some shopping for you? And you can go out and get food for that. It might be just one person each in your community, but if everybody did that, that would take a huge stress off people. I see now that I think it's Woolworths in New Zealand have started opening the shops an hour first for people that have health conditions, whether they be disadvantaged, they may be blind, or they may be in a wheelchair, paraplegic, or they may be for the elderly as well, like over 70. They're now opening the supermarket an hour before to give them the first chance to get in the aisles and get their supplies. I think that's fantastic incentive, and I actually take my hat off right now to anybody else that does that. Well done, because that's where we've got to be trying to help the situation. Now, the situation, from what I understand, has really escalated in Italy. From one of my sources, a doctor has said to me that's because their health system is now starting to struggle with keeping up with the cases. Not enough ventilators, people just are not getting the attention, and a lot of these people aren't just elderly right now, they're also young people, which brings something to you young people. Don't think that you're bulletproof and oh, it only gets old people, because no, it actually is now killing young people too. And a mosquito just bit the back of my head. Sorry, well, where's the hat's just going on again? There's a few mosquitoes around here, so we're going to put that back on. So self-isolation, avoiding crowds, and personal hygiene, really, really important. Somebody blasted me on my last video, and I totally agree with you. It was, I was going to say stupid of me, but irresponsible. I played St. Patrick's Day to a pub with a large international contingency of backpackers that were staying in it in Blenheim, and I promoted that. I'm sorry I did that. It was thoughtless. At that stage there, the government, the instruction was no crowds over 500 were to congregate. We probably had 100 at the pub at the time, so I felt it would be safe. Looking back, it was dumb of me. I fucked up, and I'll probably fuck up again as I go along through this life. I've made plenty of mistakes, and I'll make plenty more. One thing I will always do is I will always own my mistakes, because my ego has shriveled up with the rest of me ever since I've been through the health battle I've been through in the last year. What I've been through, I'm just happy to be alive. So if I make more mistakes, please pull me up. I'm always open to being wrong. I can't possibly become a better man and grow and be of any use to you guys if rubbish comes out of my mouth and I say something that's either false or incorrect or not helpful. So again, I'm sorry for that, but I'm going to move on from that, because I just want to be of use to everybody. So all of my gigs have been cancelled. I had booked up a whole lot of work. As you know, I bought this little bit of dirt around here in the old farmhouse. I haven't really bought the farmhouse because it had no value when I bought it, but the value was in the land. And so I set up a whole lot of gigs and work so I could, because obviously I've now got the expense of paying for it and everything around it. So I started booking up gigs. I was going to go to Europe. That's all gone out the window. Financially, it's a disaster for a lot of musicians and a lot of you out there. So I want to talk a little bit about this for all of you that are in a similar situation to me, and suddenly you've found yourself in a situation where you're trying to pay either a mortgage, or you've got bills to pay, and your personal business is really struggling or is going to struggle, and you can see it's going to go down. There is going to be economical disaster with this. I'm not going to paint that anything other way than it is. Our tourist industry, which is massive in New Zealand, is just taking a massive dive. All of my fellow musicians that rely on playing music, massive dive. Professional sports people, massive dive. Across the board, there's just so many people that are now going to financially suffer. But hey, you're still alive, and when you're alive, you've got hope. And when you've got hope, you've got options. And one thing us humans are very good at doing, and that is adapting. Those that don't adapt will fall by the wayside and will succumb to this. But you all have it within you to adapt. And I'm a classic example of someone who adapted. And I'm not going to thrash this story too much, but 8 years ago I tore infraspinatus on my shoulder. I used to be a professional musician playing all the time and teaching, and from one day to the next I couldn't play guitar. I couldn't even lift my hand up that high, and today I can get it up that there. I still need the operation, but I did adapt. I started, first of all, teaching music, going around to people's homes and teaching music. I never wanted to be a teacher, but I had to keep playing the bills, so I started teaching music. And I started a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel didn't work for a long time, but I kept on pushing it. And to the day now, it sustains me with the patronage I get from Patreon and a little bit of advertising I get. But then, back then when I damaged this, I thought it was the end of the world. I thought I can't keep playing music. So you too can adapt. And I would suggest start thinking now about things that are done online, because you don't have to go outside of your home. Or if you're someone who lives in the country, like in New Zealand, and you've got a place like in the South Island, if you haven't done it before, possuming, like there's a good trade in possum fur. People still need to wrap up in the winter. Hunting is, even though it may not seem commercially viable, you can certainly do a lot to put some food in everybody's fridge around you and your own. Ramp up your fishing, I've talked about this before, and of course grow vegetables. Start growing now. You can have winter vegetables. I'll be putting in silver beet, I've already got some herbs in and stuff. So start creating a little bit of something for tomorrow. I'm going to wind this vlog up. There was more I wanted to say, but I'll just hold off for now. And I want to thank you all for your kind messages. Keep on keeping me straight. And I'll do another one tomorrow. Be good. If you cannot be good, and I keep on saying this, I'll reiterate it, be careful right now. Particularly you young people that think you're bulletproof. Limit your contact right now so you can have life tomorrow. See you later.